A suicide bombing has claimed the lives of 16 Syrian soldiers near Damascus and is being blamed on al-Qaeda-affiliated militants. Meanwhile, other opposition fractions have been pleading with the West for military and financial aid. RT's Maria Finoshna is one of the few journalists who's been reporting from Syria, and she spoke to members of the Free Syrian Army inside rebel-held territory.
We cross the Syrian-Lebanese border every day, many times.
Abu al-Hassan is a soldier for the Free Syrian Army.
We take injured people to Lebanon hospitals. We get ammunition from there. We bring mujahideen in and out. If fighters want to go to see their families, our cell is a safe haven.
Our cell is a mostly Sunni Lebanese village on the Syrian border. Along this road, which appeared here in the first days of the conflict in 2011, it's possible to reach all of Syria's main battlefields, bringing weapons or militants, and many have done in those 2.5 years. Damascus has repeatedly called on foreign nations to stop supporting what it calls terrorists in Syria. But with these calls apparently ignored, taking the capital remains the ultimate goal for all the forces fighting President Assad.
The security belt that the regime created around Damascus is huge, and to target it we need many fighters and advanced weapons, and to be honest, we don't have those kinds of weapons. But what we can do is launch operations here and there to release the pressure on the regime.
Last month's attack on the village of Ma'loula here in the southwest of the country could be part of that strategy. This ancient, mostly Christian settlement lies in a valley surrounded by mountains on the way from Homs to Damascus. It's loyal to the Syrian authorities, but surrounded by FSA-held villages. It is practically the only obstacle preventing fighters from two large Syrian battlegrounds uniting. In more than a month of clashes between Islamists and opposition fighters on one side and governmental forces on the other, dozens were killed according to government sources. And the siege continued while we filmed at the scene.
What you can see over there is Ma'loula village. We can't see actually the village itself, but what we can see is Hotel Safir that the militants have been holding for weeks now. So right now we are on the other side of the clashes.
From here to the hotel is territory held by the rebels. After Safir Hotel, it's the regime. This is the highway to Damascus, but we cannot reach it because of Ma'loula.
The fighters seized control of the heights around the village. While we were filming, it was still held by them.
The mountains of this area in western Syria, known as Kalamun, are famous for their caves. Before the crisis, hundreds and thousands of tourists used to come here just to take a look at this natural phenomenon. These days, that's mostly militants who are using these caves, and that helps them hide from the soldiers of the Syrian army.
When we were in Ma'loula alongside the army, there were snipers in these very caves in the mountains around the village, stopping us from getting out.
We're now stuck here in this corner, and we're now trying to get out of here.
But while FSA soldiers can hold their opponents, they seem unable to make their own advances. Abu Muhammad, an FSA fighter, was injured in Ma'loula. He says they need more money and American military aid. Washington has considered a limited assault on Syrian military bases over August's chemical attack.
If they strike with just 10 rockets, the regime of Bashar al-Assad will fall by itself.
But America changed track after Moscow pushed Washington to agree on a peaceful way forward, pulled its warships back from Mediterranean and put its tomahawks on hold. It didn't please everyone.
All of them are liars. The Americans, the Arabs, all of them. I don't know how I can express it better, and we're not hoping for anything from them.
With army forces struggling to combat fighters hidden in the mountains and militants helpless in the face of government tanks, artillery and aviation, the country is at a deadly impasse, with neither side prepared to blink first.
RT's Maria Finoshna reports from fragmenting Syrian rebel-held territories. Syria on rebel ground on RT.